Good morning from Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm at Millbrook Exchange Park. Actually, I'm right next to the dog park. There's a large dog park and a small dog park. Gotta tell you what, these dog parks makes me as a human being kind of jealous. Come to think about it. But anyway, um, so kind of woodsy area. It's kind of a nice place to talk about the lizard man. You ever heard of the lizard man? Apparently this was a big story in 1988. Man, seems like I remembered even before then, but apparently it breaks out in 1988. Um, there were lizard man sightings, supposedly, in a rural county in South Carolina, um, Lee County, South Carolina. I believe the county seat of Lee County would be Bishopville, I believe. Um, it's actually also the home of some beautiful topiary work by an African American artist too. So, but at any rate, Bishopville is. So, as I believe I have brought up before in this series, I I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, but oftentimes I would go for the summer. South Carolina, I'm trying to remember. It seems like I was there for summer of 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, I believe 88. I believe that was the last year before I went to a college enrichment camp. So this was in Darlington County. Now, this also, and I believe I brought this up, this was on the Lee County, Darlington County line. In fact, if I was to go off the property and go on the road, which very seldom was traveled, there was some traffic in the day, but there was not a lot of traffic. There were not a lot of people there. I literally could just walk over into Lee County. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of that property was in Lee County. We stayed in a tin roof shack. It was something. I don't think you would want your children to go into it today. I believe some camping facilities actually would be more presentable, but it was I believe they were able to get some electricity. There were no wall outlets. They basically were able to plug things up through the light socket. But there was no running water in the house. And, and we used the bucket to go to the bathroom. Number one, you use the bucket. Number two, if you know what I'm saying there, you would have to go outside. I guess if it was dark outside, I guess you would do number two, but understand you probably going to have to dump it out, eventually outside. It's kind of disgusting. Well, anyway, the lizard man phenomenon had come around, and I remember at least one person talking about it, maybe a couple people. We as children were definitely talking about it, but adults. Now, I understand we already were kind of afraid to go out there anyway, because, you never know what was out in the dark. Gosh knows you never know what was out in the dark, right? This is rural South Carolina. And also, the feelings still were a little tender. So, you weren't sure if it was going to be the lizard man or perhaps even the Klan. Right? I don't remember it coming up in conversation, but let's be honest. The feelings were still a little tender in that part of the country. But at any rate, I remember it was coming up really big, and people were definitely talking about it. And you could imagine, once again, hey, if you had to go to the bathroom real bad now, and if you had to do number two, you might think twice about dumping that out. And matter of fact, to be honest with you, not only were we afraid at night, At least I know I was afraid at night. Heck, we were even afraid at day. Now, understand, I believe that this actually was a concern a little bit further into the county, but I didn't know that. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, I didn't know it was a concern further out into that Lee County until I looked it up and found out that way. But right, it was a big phenomenon. Matter of fact, there were several shows. I guess you can look at YouTube right now and find these shows where people were concerned. They swore out that there was a lizard man. I think somebody was talking about a lizard man, took their pet. And then another person said it did great damage to the car. So I believe that story is still an issue. Well, I don't know about an issue. I mean, my goodness, it's 33 years ago, but nevertheless, you could imagine that some folks who remember that the story or that sensation or phenomenon, probably still a little tender about going outside at night, and especially if you're in real rural areas where there's no running water. So I don't know. But that lizard man thing scared the fool out of me. I'm going to tell you that right now. At 46, I personally don't believe there's a lizard man, but you know what? I'm hoping he ain't 5 feet away, 20 feet away, waiting to tap me on the shoulder right now. Anyway, take care, y'all. It's a wonderful morning out here, I know for sure, in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm hoping it is for y'all too. Take care. Bye-bye.